TheKiest's here, and this is my OPERI for Kakuto Geemue Ereban, Carmine vs. Ultramarine. And kind of adjust this a bit here so you can see my lovely face a bit better. So, webcam stuff. Alright. So, pretty much, for those who don't know what my OPERI is, this is pretty much my kind of like video log, self-journal of the tournament itself, from kind of how it was formed to up all the way till kind of reflecting on it and stuff. So on July 27th, I had my 11th Kakuto series, and I guess I'll just kind of start off with Kakuto in general. The whole point of Kakuto back in the day was I was running purely brawl tournaments back in like 2011, 2012. And I really wanted to get other FGC games because Tekken was my first competitive game I liked playing. And for some reason, the two never really mixed back then, so I just started running them. Pretty much I went like, hey, $5 entry for each game, and you know, whichever game gets the most entrants or is guaranteed to be at the next one and stuff. So had a long rotation going on. It's how I met. It's kind of how I broke into FGC in general, because I was at least running events and others kind of weren't, besides the occasional seasons meetings and stuff. And then I would kind of do them seasonally, and then took a kind of a hiatus from TOing for a bit, and now it's a yearly event. And Kakuto Geemue is just broken Japanese for a fighting game. I always liked how, I thought that was kind of weird. We'd always make fun of Asians pronouncing English words weird, but then you know, we would do the exact same thing if we learned Japanese, so I thought, you know, bad Japanese, like, this is the equivalent of go to die. And it's funny when other Japanese speaking people kind of hear the name and they're like, what? That doesn't make sense. And it's not supposed to. Don't worry about it. So this Carmine vs. Ultramarine in general, this all started while we were literally cleaning up Kakuto 10, which was last year. And my good friend Abbott/So Marion came up with the idea when we were talking about how we're so grassroots that we want to do like we can't even afford red versus blue. So we went for off-brand red versus off-brand blue, and we were like, what's the most obnoxious colors we could think of? And Abbott came up with Carmine vs. Ultramarine, so we thought, oh, it'd be cool to do like we'll have to do the Civil War theme next year and stuff. So decided to go for it. I don't think it went as well as I would have liked, unfortunately, but we're kind of gonna get more into that. So yeah, and then I originally wanted it to be kind of in the summer going forward after Evo, because to like ride the hype and stuff, but it just didn't work out that way either. So we'll kind of get more into that in a sec. So preparations, a lot of this is just going to be kind of the central thing of how Kakuto's work. So the way I do staff, for those wondering, I don't hire them. It's 100% volunteer. I don't get paid either, so I tell people that immediately up front. The other thing is we had 23 different games, and in order for me to run a game, we have to have kind of a TO for each game, otherwise the game doesn't happen. You know, there's a few of them that are kind of the exception, like I'll always have dive kick at my events, and I'll probably always have Tekken at my events until I'm the only one entering Tekken. I don't see that happening anytime soon with Tekken 7 being really good, but that used to be the case. You know, John, and then same thing with like the my four main assistants, John Dog, Ju Shuichi, and Super Nak and Soul. They're always going to have their choice games, which are Smash Ultimate, Smash Melee, Unist, and ARMS. Though he might change it after this time, because he was the only entrant in ARM this time. So, and then yeah, we kind of got staff for everyone else. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I think I can name them all. So we had Gracieda for King of Fighters. I'll probably butcher that name, but her name's Terra, formerly known as Ryujin. And then we had Terra Silverfang for Marvel vs. Infinite. Originally I had Carinal for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. ADC Ken for Dragon Ball. Toxic Nut for Mortal Kombat. Then, well, Smash Ultimate I'll get to later, but it was Dibs / oh, I forget his other tag, but he prefers Dibs, I guess, whenever I talk to him. You know, Super Nak for Melee, me for, I couldn't do Tekken because of the World Tour, so it was Zion instead, and then Submarine for Soul Calibur, I'm never gonna get this name right, Jushiichi for, Unist, Suna for, Guilty Gear, Zerd, Compy for Vampire Savior, Jupiter slash Ellie slash I don't know what tag he goes. He mixes it up all the time. I don't even know. Point is he did Super Turbo. Then we had Sente from the Fantasy Strike scene, which that was cool to get from the Fantasy Strike scene. Roman, the guy who got his cuff hair in the ground to begin with. We'll talk more of that when I get to the venue. Same place. I've just done it for the last 3 years for Kakuto. Yeah, he did Dive Kick. Then we had Abic slash Borrow slash Crying Brian slash Crying Lincoln. You know, pick your poison. He did Power Rangers. And I'm Mystery Game I did because it's the Mystery Game. Mystery Game was 12 orbits. It's pretty sick. Check it out. And yeah, John Dog for arms. That was the other one I was missing. So, oh, Pokin. Pokin we had H2, but you know, other things happened with the staff, unfortunately. So a lot of. Oh, and then Travis for DOA. I'm just kind of. I think I had a few more. Now I'm thinking about it. No, I'm missing a bunch more games actually. Yeah, DOA was Travis, and then Cross Tag Battle was JT. And this is what I get for not having all the games in front of me. I could easily do it, but I want to try to do it off of memory because that's always fun with this kind of stuff. Yeah, this is gonna bug me. I know I'm missing one, but I feel like I got everybody though. We had the 3D games, we had the KLF. Did Dragon Ball, did Street Fighter 5. How could I forget Street Fighter 5? Game's kind of falling off in Columbus. It's kind of weird. Or at least the guys don't travel for it. Jobber. Did that one, which that was really cool to see Jobber come back because he kind of stepped back from the TOing stuff, but it was cool to have him there. And I know a lot of people were telling me they were excited to have him back and stuff, even if they couldn't come to the event themselves. So, anyways, ponies, we had a lot of guys. And you know, and the other side of it too is that Nate. I think Shushuichi, Nate, Soul, and John Dog and I would all be able to run all 23 if it was just the 5 of us. Like, you know, I'd like it more, and maybe Nate would like it more, but maybe the others wouldn't as much, but we'd be able to pull it off somehow. The theme, so made a trailer, and had every TO pick a color, and it turned out that the side was 50-50 somehow. Like, I only had to force, like, maybe one game per se, and that was before I had the Fantasy Strike guy, but yeah, somehow we had 22 games, because I didn't count mystery event for this, and yeah, it was 11 TOs picked Carmine, 11 TOs picked Ultramarine. It was really weird. I was kind of shocked, to be honest, so that was really cool. And then I made like a trailer. I'll end up, you can see it on my YouTube. Soul Caliber helped me with that. Pretty much it's a 10-minute trailer because there's 23 games, so if you're shooting all that footage, and then I had live action segments in between, which T800 helped direct with that, so that was really fun. Even had the shirts ready and stuff, but you know, this is one of those things where I have great ideas, but I don't have the means to like actually produce or execute them. Whether I don't have the talent myself, or I don't have the money to hire someone. And the people that could volunteer don't have the time to said volunteer because of, you know, stuff they are getting paid for and things like that. Would have been cool to have like a campaign where, like, you know, I was the captain of Ultramarine and Nate was the captain of like Carmine, and we actually kind of like had fake scenes and stuff to try to build up hype and combo videos and stuff. But there could have been a lot more to this. Even in the Smash GG page, we had what team people could pick, and the idea was, you know, kind of just find a reason to cheer for strangers, I guess. Like, I might not know player Jim Bob Slim the 5th, but if he's on Team Ultramarine, and I know he's on Team Ultramarine, then that gives me a reason to cheer for him. So, I think it was just the theme that was a little too much for a Kakuto. Like, maybe it'd be better, maybe not as big as an MLG thing, but it's something you really got to work on the theming of. I think you almost need, like, a PR guy themselves just to do that. Maybe Cost could technically pull it off, but there's a lot, and you know, the payoff's really not going to be that big until you start getting to the higher numbers and get like top endorsements from other top players and things. But it was cool to see this, to try it. I mean, I think I could have tried better with it, but it was kind of nice to see that people don't really get the theme and just kind of learn the hard way, I guess. It didn't really harm the tournament, but it was just disappointing that it didn't come out the way I wanted, and that could have been energy wasted. That could have been energy just like doing other things and not stressing out as much about it. So, all right. So, staff in general, but I'll kind of mention these two at the same thing. A lot of bad personal stuff happened to our guy. So, we had, I was going to have Emily, who just moved in, because she was getting the TOing, and I wanted her to kind of like, all right, you can help me do my thing. Kakuto's I prefer, at least for the Smash Ultimate side, and I keep doing this. I keep calling it Smash 4 when it's Smash Ultimate. I just refuse to. I just think it just rings too much, I guess. And I don't play the game either, so I'm not as angry about it. I mean, I would have been a rager if I was still a Smash player about someone calling it Smash 4. But anyways, for Smash Ultimate, she was gonna do it, and then she broke up with. There was pretty much her and a boyfriend broke up. I'm not gonna get the details on who broke up with who. That's up to them, not my call. Point is, she ended up moving back to her hometown in St. Louis, and I wanted someone who was like actually in the city. Because I could recruit other guys, but one of my pet peeves with Kakuto is I want Columbus-only talent, with the exception being the 5 and anyone that the 5 has directly trained. So, like, John Dog is cool. Mindset would be cool if he went somewhere else. Anyone Super Nax trained and stuff. So, lost her from that, and then I was having XYK do PM, and I was like, alright, you can just do Smash Ultimate, because he had already been doing the Game Arena stuff, and then something came up with him financially, and he had to move back home out to either Jersey or Maryland, I forget. The point is that nowhere near Ohio. So yeah, then I had to try to find another Ultimate guy. And then, Dibs, or Sam Moore at the time, was already running the Ultimate Pizza Weeklies, as they call it. I just call it Smash Ultimate Fight Night, because that's technically what it is. You all can call it whatever you want. But he was running them in Mindset stead while he was on his internship and stuff. So, he was willing to do it, which was cool, because I always want new blood. I'll probably get either Mindset or Diablos, or both, to do the next one. But I want to use Kakuto to give other TOs practice, especially because the Mindset and others had practiced and cost, and, they're going to keep running Ultimate events and stuff. Whereas I'm capable of running an Ultimate event very well, and John Dog is capable of inviting, like, all of the 5 are. So I want TOs to get the, exposure that to be fair, it's kind of what they need, because like you want to run a bigger event, you want to run an event where you're not only yes, Ultimate itself is going to be smaller at my thing, but you're collaborating with 20 other people you haven't met before across different cultures and stuff, which is exactly what you're going to kind of get in a major anyway. It's just a little more controlled, so it'd be kind of good. So that kind of happened on that end, and then the 5 themselves, I think 3 or 4 out of the 5 had also rough relationship breakup parts, and it kind of happened around the same time. And when you're doing, as much as I love the volunteer stuff, but when it's an event that you're volunteering for and something like really personal happens, it really starts to go on the back burner. That's cool. That's kind of the whole point of this. But when the 5's job, in my opinion, is like, if I'm not doing what I need to do, then one of those 4 can step up, or at least like, bitch at me until I do. And we weren't getting that because all of us were just in really bad mental places for probably around April through June, I think, which is just kind of ridiculous. I almost thought about canceling the entire event, to be honest, but they kind of convinced me otherwise, because they were coming out at the end of their time and stuff. And I think that kind of hurt the theme part too. So it's, I don't want to use it as an excuse or John, but again, it's just because it's more of a volunteer thing, and the whole point of this is more about, this happens behind the scenes, and I think people should know that too. So if it's for like a big major and money's on the line and people are getting paid and stuff, then it's kind of easier to be motivated to like keep going despite of it. So I guess that is one of the drawbacks of doing it grassroots wise, is because there's no commitments. Like we're free to do whatever we want, but because there are no commitments, there's no, like, I don't want to say there's zero motivation. It's just that it's harder to be motivated when things in life go badly, and that's kind of what happened with some of the other staff too. Is staff just couldn't make it last minute, and it was for other random reasons and stuff. Like some was for like there's like maybe a regional tournament, another type of game they're playing, or it's a relatives baby shower, or all sorts of things where, like, if it was Evo that they were working at and getting paid to do because they were like the TO for Eunice or something, I'm not gonna use like Jushichi was there, so it wasn't a problem. I'll just come Chauncey. I'm just gonna screw up this name forever, I think. Well played, sir. Well played. yeah, like if you're the head Street Fighter 5 TO, you're not gonna miss it even if there's like a baby shower. You might miss it. You might miss it if like, you know, it's your brother's wedding or something, or you'll try to make it work or something. But the point is, you're not gonna get that other way around too. So yeah, and then a few others had other reasons and stuff just came up last minute, which again, the 5 just filled in the gaps, and some of the other volunteers and apprentices too, because we had more than just 23 staff as well. So that was kind of unfortunate. So that kind of covers, I think, the staffing of it. So we're going to move to stream next. So this time, all right, so last year's goal, which we were able to do, was we streamed every game, all 15 of them. They all had their top 3s. I think there was maybe 2 games that technically didn't because one got canceled because there was only one entrant, and the other game, the players just wanted to play it. They didn't really want to just keep going with it, so yeah, they just wanted to play it off stream, I think, and not wait, even though it wasn't going to be that long of a wait anyway, and they would have had to wait because of whoever was in losers finals were in other games too. So this time we just cut it down in half, so we only streamed 10 games, I guess, but there were so less entrants this time that it didn't really matter anyway, but so that was kind of nice. Again, was Matchstick Melee and Manakite Gaming, and they both they both did cool. They both got into the assets a bit, which was nice. And then yeah, all kind of volunteered work. Had a tip jar planned. I'll get more into that during execution and reflection, unfortunately. But yeah, they did it. And you know, we had the same setup we had at Kakuto, where one person could hardline in and another person would go Wi-Fi and stuff. So next year will be different, because I think we'll probably just have one stream and it'll be a 2-day. I'll get more into that in the iteration side. So all right, next, volunteered resources. So this kind of came as a surprise, to be honest. Lots of donations across the board, not just in the form of pot bonuses, which we got some generous ones from Iron Zangief and from technically my late grandfather. I got some inheritance. I used some for that covered the Tekken stuff, as well as the Smash Ultimate entry fees and stuff for 2GG comeback, or whatever it's called, the fall spring event that people are excited for. Then Outer Haven supplied $100, which they could only use it for whatever. I used it for some of the other main games. And then random things here and there, which was pretty cool. Like we had Miles bring donuts. We had Tara or Gracia bring donuts. Then Catgirl Princess made trophies for each of the 23 games. Like there were these like handmade coasters, and you know, they weren't like nice wooden ones. It wasn't like a bronze medal or anything, but just the home brew, like just made out of random collages of pictures on cardboard and stuff with some golden tape. And you know, it's just it's one of those, when you say it out loud, it doesn't really seem to mean as much. When we're actually seeing it and seeing that's like a community thing, and it's not like any of us asked for it, you know, that kind of like brings home what Kakuto is supposed to be. So that was really epic, and you know, huge shout outs to Felicia for doing that. And then my mom still made gift bags or treat bags for venue setups again, which was pretty nice. She made cookies and had some, what was it, Ninja Turtle fruit snacks and Scooby-Doo fruit snacks, and then like some random Hershey bars and stuff too. So that was really cool. And had Level 1 Arcade sponsor us, the venue that does the Thursday night Burst and Brews for the anime scene, and several of the several of the either employees or managers all play Super Turbo, so they was like, hey, let's contribute to Super Turbo and stuff. And then, you know, various other TOs also donated their own games. JT did, Jupiter did, and that was pretty neat too. So next we've got the shirts. So kind of here, yep, decided to actually make a logo for myself. So this palm salute's just going to be the TheKiest's team thing. So like it's going to be slapped on everything I do going forward, including like Tekken calibers and glitch buses and, you know, whatever. The thing I'm looking up is because I can't believe I forgot the name of this place. Oh yeah, Shout Out Loud Prince my youngest sibling Catherine recommended them to me because like it was started up by some of their friends, and Catherine's used it a few times, I think. So ordered through them. They were really quick. I was kind of late on this due to the staff, problems I was kind of mentioning before. So they were able to do 100 shirts in 10 business days really easily. I just had to send them the image. There was like a $30 processing fee based on the Photoshop not being quite right, which I think I'll ask them what they did, so like I don't have to do that next time. But really, shirts deals weren't that bad. I won't go into details how much they were, but and then you noted I don't have the tournament name on it is because I want to be able to sell the extras at future events and stuff. So each of the staff got a free shirt, which was I think it was, and that included the Coffee Underground people. So there was like 30 shirts or something. Which I'm like, whatever. I'll technically make it back if I sell the shirts at like enough. So yeah, I'll be selling them at future events. If you missed out, don't worry. And they'll be around for a while and stuff, and so on. They came out really well. They feel great. I probably should have washed mine before the show, but I wanted to at least show the shirt when I'm wearing it and stuff. So, and you'll see more people like that too. So next in the preparations, the schedule. So this is where I was very surprised. I'm actually gonna move this to after the venue issues. So the one thing I mentioned with the venue issues is the way Coffee Underground is that they have this giant main room, then they have this like semi-medium room for the for like a video room thing. It's got like a big projector in it and stuff. You'll see the pics eventually, or I'll link them later when they're up and stuff. Oh, that was the other volunteer I forgot. Yeah, we had Hidden Apache do photography for us. That was pretty cool. He did it for about 2 hours, 2-3 hours. I forget how many pictures he got, but I think he'll be uploading them sometime this weekend, or it's July 31st right now, probably like August 3rd or something they'll be up by. You'll be able to find them everywhere and stuff. I'll probably link it in the description at one point. But yeah, that was pretty cool. We got a lot of pictures. We even got some staff shots, and again, it was just all volunteer stuff. Like I bought them food and got them a shirt and stuff. But I'm just amazed at how much people just wanted to help just to do it. Because like I already knew that I was kind of weirded. I just want a TO, just a TO. Like I don't need to make money or need to get paid. And then I found a venue that also was really inexpensive. Most of the reason I charge venue is to make sure people bring setups in so they can pre-reg, because I'm running so many games, but the venue doesn't even have to be that high, in all honesty. It's just, and then our venue is still low compared to most events, so I can get away with it too. And then yeah, and then just keep getting more and more people stepping up to this, which is really cool in this esports world where a lot of people go to other events and there's always like money kind of getting in the way. And I feel whenever you start paying someone, then you have to start you have to negotiate with them, and then once you negotiate, you have to actually waste time making sure they're doing what you paid them to do, and that becomes a problem because some people, don't get me wrong, I think people should get paid if others are getting paid, but there's some people that really don't do the work for what, even if they are getting paid, they're just not doing the work for it. And then they think they should. I've seen it way too many times at events and stuff. And I think it's getting better, and people are getting more weeded out, and people are actually doing the work and stuff. But man, there's a ton of it out there. I haven't been to one major in a while, I'll admit that. But even at Big House in 2017, yeah, it just seemed like, I mean, maybe they weren't because it was all volunteers, but I've been to enough events, I've seen it. There's some that they get paid and they don't work the shift they're supposed to. They don't step up when they're supposed to, and things go wrong. And you're like, well, why am I? If you didn't like this price, then why didn't you negotiate it? Or if you did go for this price, then why are you still wearing the staff shirt? There's just all sorts of problems with it. I don't want to deal with any of it, so I don't. Maybe one day I'll do it as practice just to see what it's like, but maybe I don't. I'll talk more of that in the reflection stuff. So anyways, venue issues, sorry on that delay and stuff. The third room we've never used before, and we were going to use it this time because it was getting completely renovated, and I booked this event back in September 2018, and yeah, it should be done by then. And it's not Aaron, the Coffee Underground manager's fault. It's more of the church's fault of yeah, they got it done, but it was literally completed the Friday night before, so we couldn't really use it because the carpet was brand new. So like, had to restrict what beverages were in there and had to restrict how we were going to do setups and stuff. But we got a fourth room though. We didn't need the fourth room, unfortunately, because we didn't hit the attendance I kind of wanted to. I'll talk more about that in the execution side. And then the final part with this venue is that it doesn't heat well. Like, there's no real air conditioning in the main room or the video room. There's kind of good enough in the other rooms because they're like more out of the way and newer and stuff. So I kind of had to finally put a cap. Like, originally I was going to do like, I don't know, I quoted it as like a 10 event cap. Like, I would have kind of let it sway depending on what was going on. Like, you know, if you entered 10 events and then you decide to enter arms last minute and there's only like one person at arms, I'm gonna let you enter arms, kind of a thing. But I had to change it to, because of the heat, I wanted to space out things more. I had to limit it to like 5 events if you pre-reg, and then like 3 events at the door. I don't remember, maybe I did it the other way, maybe I did it just 7 and 5 or something. I might have said 3 at the door is like a threat, but said 5 anyway because I knew the numbers were gonna be low, but had to change that last second. So that kind of covered, yeah. And so that was kind of the thing with the venue issues. Schedule. Here's the part I was surprised about. So we have the 3 rooms, and I sat with Nate about like, I don't know, 5 days before the event. And we're like, how are we scheduling 23 games? How are we doing it? And it's funny because when you start scheduling and you put in the obvious pieces, you start realizing like how much physical room you actually have, and it's kind of weird. This might be the easiest thing the entire event was to actually schedule all 23 games. I think the only spots we kind of had conflict was VSAV being a little too close to Super Turbo and some of the anime games being too close to each other. Besides, because I think there was like a few people that were kind of waiting on all 4 or 5 of them or something like that. But it's kind of good. I know the bottlenecks now and stuff. And you know, we could always make pre-reg mandatory. I'm not a fan of it. But you know, at one point it's got to sacrifice one for the other. Because there's just a stigma about it. Some people don't like going to Smash GG and seeing a thing that says you have to pay $10, even though the next page will say pay at the door. And then, yeah, I don't know. It just, and especially because I know the gaming crowd, a lot of them aren't going to know what event they're going to until like the Friday night before, to be honest. So even if it was like a bigger event, they're going to try to do emergency at the doors and stuff. And I can understand the emergency at the door stuff if your event has already broken like 200, maybe 300. But I don't, below that, I just don't see the point. TOs can step up and fill in the gaps and make the work happen. It's happened just fine in all the other past events and stuff. It's a crutch. I don't like it. But we were able to complete the schedule pretty well and get the did the streams on games that I know that CBS players would like seeing the VODs for. Unfortunately, some of those games did not get a lot of entrants, like Mortal Kombat and Marvelous Capcom 3 and stuff, despite there being a lot of those players in the area, but they didn't show up for whatever reason, probably the advertising side stuff. So then finally, you know, we did the normal setup on Friday where it was great. Got probably 12 of the 20 staff to come help set up, including those who probably wouldn't be able to go on Saturday anyway, but they showed up. We got set up in probably 2 hours for everything except the stream, because they obviously don't want the stream equipment overnight. And yeah, so that was great. And then finally and I'm just mentioning this here, so we tried it, but I think we had this set up like way too early and I kind of forgot about it, unfortunately. But we were doing something more with the pre-reg where you actually use the pre-reg code just to like try it out. You would get $5 off, otherwise you'd have to pay 10 at the door, which I really don't like people paying $10 venue at the door, even though everyone and their dads and their brothers tell me that $10 venue is fine. I don't like it. It's just the age I grew in, especially when the venue itself doesn't require a $10 venue to pay for it. And then if I start saying, oh, you should use that money to go to the staff, then you start getting into the negotiation thing I was talking about earlier. I don't want to deal with it. I think it hurts the event more than anything. I might come up with something different instead. I don't know, but there's probably a better way. I wasn't a fan of it, but I wanted to try it at least. but we technically didn't try it. We'll get more to that in the execution side of this. So that all covers preparation. So everything I just mentioned for the last, like, I don't know, 15, or like, I'm not going to bother trying to time. We're at minute 30 here. Pretty much all this, that's all was like what happened to the prep stuff. And, you know, it all started pretty much September-ish, I think. I announced the event in January and then kind of had the venue booked in December or something like that, or September, and so on. So now the execution phase, this is where I just talk about the raw, what actually happened at the event, not like opinions and stuff, although I'll probably mess that up anyway. So one of the things is I had people bring plenty of fans if we could. Probably could have used more, but luckily we didn't have that many. So we only had 67 uniques, which is, I think a Kakuto hasn't had that low since back when I was at Xenos. Because I think even when I did the OSU one, that broke 70 in one day. So that was like during Smash 4's prime and Street Fighter and Marvel's prime. So that was kind of weird, unfortunately. But part of this has to do with, I guess I could have said it's preparation. 5 events decided to do the same day as us. Again, we didn't advertise it enough, but I also had some people message me asking, like, hey, can we run this on the same day as yours? And why even ask this? Because if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it anyway. I'm not gonna, like, if I say no, you can't do it, you're just gonna do it. I'm not gonna say, I could say yes, sure, go for it. Maybe I would if a game was in conflict, but if it's a Mortal Kombat event or like a Smash event and it's like I already have these here, you know, I'm running every game under the sun. And then other events, other TOs just didn't know there was an event going, and it was like some of their first time events. Like I think Data had one. Gratz running their first event over there. I kind of wish we were more clear on what our event was, so they didn't do it the same day. Then they could have came to ours, and some of our guys could come to theirs and stuff. And yeah, several across the board happened with that, so I think that hurt a lot of attendance too. I already knew attendance was going to kind of hurt because it was the weekend before, and I knew the weekend before EVO was going to be significantly worse than the weekend after EVO, because people aren't going to take off that Saturday if they can, because if they are going to go to EVO, it's the week after. Although the Midwest, not that many go to EVO in the grand scheme of things. Like a lot do, but not enough do. And I think more people would show up after EVO because they get hype of the new patch or the new DLC and stuff, and, you know, we would just allow all that in during that week. But anyways, what happened here, 67, what was crazy was there was actually a 50-50 divide on the teams, so there actually was 30, I think, yeah, hold on, I think 38 of Carmine and 39 of Ultramarine, which is nuts. You hear it's supposed to be 50-50, but you don't really believe it because you hang out with like-minded people and stuff. But when you see it happen, it was pretty cool. One of the other things that happened execution-wise was, I won't go into details, but some of our TOs had major personal issues happen that was out of their control outside the venue and stuff. So we, I think, took care of that as professionally as we could. Let the TOs have some breather room and stuff, and we just stepped in and helped their games because, you know, the way I kind of do scheduling with the venue with the TOs is each TO works an hour before their game starts. So Smash Ultimate started at 2:30, so the Smash Ultimate TO worked the reg test from like 1:30 to 2:30, then they do their event and blah blah blah, so on. And then others decide to come at 10 a.m. anyway, and so it's like, well, if you're going to be here, I'll have you do stuff. And so we cover each other's games when things like this happen. I kind of mentioned it to some of the 5, but not even all of them, and the TO, like, I offered the TOs to go home if they needed to. They didn't need to, so they just kind of, they took their breaks, they ran their events as best they could, and then they had a good time until they, didn't have to do they stayed their responsibilities and they hit it out and stuff. So ARMS was the only game to get canceled, unfortunately. Just had one entrant, which was the TO. It's too bad because it's one of those games that I feel came out at the wrong time. Like, if it came out after Ultimate did, maybe people would try it and play it more. Because, like, I think it was just too sold as, like, a Joy-Con niche game when you don't need it. You can use the Pro controllers and stuff. The Ohio scene's pretty cool. I've met several of them before, besides Jundog and stuff at previous events and things. They do online stuff, and for a while they had a ranking even. But just kind of the game died down, unfortunately. It didn't achieve the level of Splatoon, and I don't think it ever could. Splatoon's just so crazy unique, and ARMS just felt gimmicky. Even if you were learning the game and you were into other fighters, it just felt gimmicky. It's hard to explain. It's just janky, I guess, but not like in a good fun way. It was like a dull way, because like if you want to do real janky, you do like Smash Brothers with the items and all the other crazy stages and that stuff. That's where you get, you know, fun janky, I guess, or you play like a janky serious game like Marvel or Soul Calibur. They have ridiculous stuff all of the time, and you have to actually like put in the work and practice to like get it to work and defend against it, more importantly, and stuff. So Tekken's a little bit on it too, or in Street Fighter 5 sometimes it's coin flip. But the point is like ARMS just felt boring to me. I don't know why. Like even from a spectator sport too. Then a bunch of other games had roughly 3 to 5 entrants. Some games had more than I thought they would. Like Dive Kick had 9, Fantasy Strike had like 11-ish or something. I guess I'm kind of skipping ahead, so I'll just move this up here. I could just go to Smash GG and look them all up. It's not a bad idea, but I could just kind of read them off. I was going to have a results thread ready by the time I got to this, but other things happened, so didn't quite work out that way. Just pulling up the page so I can read stuff. Attendees. One of the things I can't stand about Smash GG, and I haven't been able to like get people to do it, is if someone's not in your game, then you like drop them. You don't give them the DQ, because then it messes up my numbers. I feel like there's a way I could just look up everything. What am I going to? So, yeah, Mortal Kombat, we had 4. Although some were marked paid, some not, so maybe it was 6. Then King of Fighters, I think we had 4. Soul Calibur 6, I think was 6. Maybe I'm wrong on that. No, Soul Calibur had 7. I think just one didn't make it on here, because he was telling me there were 7. Project M had 10. Dive Kick had 9. I don't know that because I was actually in Dive Kick. Fantasy Strike had Smash GG so slow. I guess it's 6. I thought it had 10 for some reason. Ultimate, I think, had 21. Yep, ARMS got canceled, so I won't do that. Melee, I actually don't know how much Melee has. Come on, I'm looking at this. 11. Then Pokken had, I think, surprisingly 4 or 5. Originally it was like 2, and then a bunch of people, yeah, okay, 1 other signed up, so 3. No, because someone else showed up last minute. No, he's on here, I just forgot he changed his name, so. Then SF5 had 6. Like some of these mainstream games, it's just, there's just other FGC stuff that day, and they preferred to go to that one, I guess, unfortunately. Even though mine was announced first, I'm pretty sure. But didn't do enough advertisements, so people didn't know to like unschedule it, or just didn't know that my thing was going on, which is kind of unfortunate. So, BB Tag. Oh, actually, I had 12. Okay. Marvel had 4 or 5, I believe. Yeah, it was 4, but I think one person showed up last minute, and we just didn't add them to the Smash GG because I just did a round robin pull anyway. Dragon Ball. Some were unpaid, so I think Dragon Ball had like 7. Infinite had, I think, 3 or 4. 3. Under Night was what tied with Ultimate, which was pretty sick. That had 21, I believe. Maybe it was 20. But I think that was the same case with Ultimate, where it was like 21 on here, but it was like actually 20. So congrats on Eunice. They kind of deserve it. I think they even had a player from Michigan come down, which is pretty cool, because there was also a Michigan event going on. Accent Core looks like 11. Vampire Savior. You know, it's these old games, old man games that I'm kind of happy about. Yeah, that had 8. You know, we can make them even bigger next time too. Tekken 7, we barely hit 16 for the World Tour, which is kind of sad. You know, the guys who went was cool, and Noel Strife from Indiana came. Dead or Alive had 3. Super Turbo, that was one that had, that had 11. And then finally Power Rangers Battle of the Grid. I think this one had either... This had 8. I was kind of surprised that had 8, so... yeah, that was all the games. Kind of read them all out. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, I would have liked double in each, and that would have been cool. But Kakuto will break 200 at one point. Might have to be a 2-day event in order for it to do it, though. The rate this is kind of going with it. So I don't know. It's one of those. I'll fight on this, but it's like people do the thing where they spend money to bring in a top player or a top commentator, and that gets people to show up. I don't think that's really the way to do it, but maybe it is. And if it is, then I'll stop running stuff if that's the case, or I'll stop caring about entrant count and just do like the games I want to do and not really worry about what other people want in it. So, yeah, at one point I did my pizza run because I paid the staff and stuff. What was cool was, I guess the only reason I'm even mentioning this here, I wasn't really busy at the time because we had so many staff and not that many people, so I was just able to go do it, essentially. And then commentary just left it up to the streamers and the TOs. Commentary it's weird. Smash commentary, there's a lot of people that want to do commentary, but they're not great at it. And then FGC people, there's a lot of people who, they just don't want to do commentary because they don't think they're good, but then you have zero commentary because of it, and then that sucks. Or you have like 2 people and they're not great at it. But commentary is a skill, and it's something that can be worked on and stuff. It just kind of sucks that the stream has to suffer when that kind of happens. I'll kind of get more to that reflection. Venue fees, this kind of happened where I just didn't expect... I couldn't remember what I did with the pre-reg stuff, so I wasn't expecting people to pay $10 venue. I thought it was like 5. And some people did pay 5, and I had to correct it halfway through and stuff, so... and then we ended at roughly 10:30, I think, with the mystery event. We didn't have to stream it, but I wanted to stream it, even though there wasn't any commentary, so no one knew what was actually happening during 12 Orbits. But hey, at least you know, I can go watch myself get second place, I guess. So thanks on that, Matchstick. Then cleaned up and got out at like 11:30ish, I believe. So we finished on time and everything. And that kind of covered the execution stuff. It was hot, but I wasn't really hearing that many complaints about the heat, especially when like we spread out to all 3 rooms and had a 4th room if we really wanted to. So maybe next time. Now we're at the reflection side. So pretty much, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? So I guess I'll mention the grade at the end. Most of the stuff has to do with like failing to do things here in preparation. I think just, you know, I had this cool idea for a theme, spent shirts on it, didn't advertise it, and then, you know, the advertisement just snowballed to the point where other events got booked, and they saw that our event was if they either knew our event existed and saw that our event was too small because there wasn't enough, like, they gauged that, oh, there's like no one coming to this, so we're fine. Or they just flat out didn't know ours was a thing, and so they scheduled it anyway. Or they thought that it was just too far, and it wasn't going to like really affect the entrance and stuff. Even though there's people that live, you know, in the middle, in between of the 2 locations, so you make them choose instead. Really, the only thing you need to do is you spam your advertisement and hope that your event looks more appealing than the other, and you can do that regardless if you put in $0 into your advertisement or like $1,000 into your advertisement and stuff. Definitely flying in some top players would help with that, but there's some players who would prefer a cheaper event, and I kind of backtrack what I'm saying before of there's 800,000 people that live in Columbus, and we're trying to say that only 100 play Smash Ultimate. I don't buy it. We don't advertise enough locally via flyers or campus or even at our own venues leaving stuff. Like, no one knows about Fight Night unless you find a Facebook group through a Reddit post and you know to look at a Reddit post, or you tweet at James Chen like, hey, Whereas something in Ohio had that happen today, someone from Youngstown, and it's like, you're swimming in FGC stuff up there and you don't even know it. It's crazy. And now he knows. So theme issues just kind of goes, I kind of mentioned a bit in preparations, but it mostly has to do with, if you're going to do a theme, the best theme you can do is something simple. It's why it's like a pirate day and not like Pirates of the Caribbean Day, right? Because if it's Pirates of the Caribbean Day, you have to figure out how you're going to tie it in. Like, what's Jack Sparrow have to do with it? Do you have the gold? Do you have people dressed as pirate zombies and blah, blah, blah? But if you just do a simple pirate day, then, you know, people dressed as a pirate, get a generic hat, get a generic sword, maybe a parrot, I don't know. And that was kind of what I was trying to do with here, was like, it wasn't Civil War, because if I said Civil War, like the Smash the Civil War event of Ally versus Zero, and, you know, that was, it's clear what the event is. You pick a team, you pick a side, and that's the Civil War stuff. I wanted to do that, didn't want to call it Civil War, because, I mean, we were trying to maybe rip it off, but we didn't, and I don't want to seem like we were. They had the reverse blue theme. It was trying to be grassroots because we couldn't afford red or blue, and it could only pay for Carmine Ultramarine. Just none of that stuff fell through, and you have to, like, in order for a theme that's unique to get across, you have to, like, constantly keep selling that theme, I guess. And we just didn't have, pretty much, if I'm going all volunteer based, we're never going to have the time to do such a thing. Like I was going back with Cost. Cost could do it because Spencer is a god at advertising, or Diablos, if you will. He'd be able to do it. He does it quite often. Maybe when I was younger and liked social media, I could have done it too, even in my 30s and stuff. But I don't like social media, period. Which we never had to use it, but we have to use it for these kind of events so far. And yeah, that's kind of the problem there with the theme stuff. There also wasn't a way, I needed a way for people to know what team you were on. Maybe stickers. That would have been probably smart in hindsight. This is why this is called the reflection thing. Because you didn't know what team people were on, so you can cheer from anyway. And Smash GG, I'm sure they could do it if it was for a major, or if I asked one of my contacts to ask them for such a feature to, like, put it on their brackets, but then people at the event aren't looking at it either. So it's just another, I just keep forgetting Smash GG is a bracket making program for the streamer viewers and for events that have more than 500 people, and anything else, it's absolute garbage in my opinion. You're better off just doing something else, which FGC did for many years, and it was fine. They're getting better, but as long as they have don't have an offline version, then I don't really care. But they are capable of doing a theme. I would have had to have them customize it for us. We did the best we could. As far as like the Smash GG side, I think we just didn't fulfill it through actual personnel and using the tool. So I won't completely blame the tool on that. It would just, we needed a way to tell what players were on which team. Yeah, maybe a sticker, but then not everyone wants to wear a sticker, kind of a thing. So just things like that just kind of fell through. I'm not sure what they did live with Ally versus Zero, or if they didn't care. Maybe it was just a whole, like superficial spectator thing of like they just yelled like, all right, these guys on Team Zero, and they had the hype staff there, which that works for a single Ultimate event, but Kakuto will never be a single event, so you don't really want to yell that throughout the whole day with 13 other games going on at the same time. Yeah, and then I kind of mentioned with the other events, again, with the advertising, just, yeah, several other things were going on. I think there was, well, when you're running 23 games, you're going to get a lot of conflicts, is the other thing, too. So I think there was 4 FGC events and 5, maybe 6 Smash events, all within the Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania scenes. I'm not going to mention who they are. Not their fault, except for the ones who knew my event and did it anyway. It is their fault. They could pick a different week, or they just don't have to have it. They could have it later. My thing's only once a year. Actually, I'll even Columbus had it, and then Ohio just had a lot of events in general that month, just because it happened that way. You know, they were good events too. Yeah, we had our Smash Ultimate monthly / bi-monthly 2 weeks before. The week before that, we had the Outer Haven event. Yeah, so again, it just all boils down to this again. Yeah, I keep stressing it, I think, every OPERI. I'm just bad at it. I don't like social media, and I have to be on social media to advertise, so that's what sucks. That's always going to be a struggle, and I have to be on social media to tell my staff to advertise, and that also sucks. Don't want to do it, but you have to. Just kind of the roots. So if I want to break the 200, that's what I have to do. Otherwise, I have to just be satisfied with doing less than 200 man events. And the people who go to my events, they have fun, I have fun, and, you know, maybe the Kakutos will never break it, but we'll see. Or maybe one of the 5 will step up and they'll do it, or maybe I'll just finally cave and get, like, an ad guy. But until then, that's kind of what's the deal. It was just what I realized this time, because, you know, I wasn't doing well either during that period, but, yeah, if I could, I would delete my Facebook, Twitter, and everything now. But if I want to be part of FGC, you can't. It's really awful. Discord too. I just don't want to deal with any of it. Commentary. So, oh man, finally happened again. I haven't had something like this since the Brawl days, but you have. I'm not going to mention people because there's some people that want to commentate and they do commentate, but then they're commentating stuff that they don't know what they're talking about, period, and they don't even play the game, but they want to have their voice heard because it is fun, and I do think it's fun. When you actually do like commentating, it's fun. And then on the flip side, there's also no one at the commentator chair, so it's either you have really bad commentary, or you have commentary that the other commentators aren't comfortable working with, or you have a solo cast, which is sometimes even more uncomfortable, or you have no commentary. And if this was a esports event thing, they would probably go the route of just having no commentary if that was actually the realistic thing, or just have the streamer talk or something, as opposed to like awful commentary. I think more people would prefer to. Because if people don't like commentary, they're just going to mute it anyway, so. And then you're forced to mute it, and then you don't hear the game noise, and I don't know. And I might be wrong about all this. I don't really watch streams unless it's a tournament, and then when it does, there's commentary I like, and I already know that I don't like most Smash commentary anyway. And then FGC commentaries, most of the time it's porn commentary, so that's just whatever. Porn commentary is when you hear nothing but, like, it's okay if you have it in there occasionally during a combo, but you hear like pretty much if you just took the audio of something you could put onto a porno, then that's how you know you have porno commentary. And I know there's some people who just they just do that because they hear Yipes do it, but Yipes mixes this in and does it at the right time, and also says, like, you know, somewhat analysis, and Marvel is kind of different too, but then you're hearing it in, I don't know, it's a thing. Anyways, problem is that we had a few commentators at Kakuto that wanted to commentate every game, wouldn't take no for an answer because there's no one else sitting there. I don't want to be, there's reasons why I can't just kick him or boot him. Won't get into those reasons on this, but point is that Kakuto is meant to be more informal. It's meant to be more volunteer based. It's meant for people to like get their starts and stuff. There's already hundreds of other events where you can go there to get the full commentary. That's good. There's a paid commentary, or you have commentary signups, and there's actually like an audition and stuff like that. All that exists. The problem with all that existing is, when do you start? How do you commentate if there's no events you can commentate? Because even the weeklies are getting to the point where they have commentary sheets and signups, and if I can't volunteer to commentate because it's already booked by people with commentary experience, and I have zero commentary experience, where do I get that experience from? Do I stream? Streaming's not the same as commentary, unless you're, you know, streaming matches at that point, but then you're not playing, and it's different than being at a live event. And sometimes, and it also gets rid of the other notion of, and I found this with TOing, there's people who don't know they like something until they actually like try it, but you have to have the environment for them to try it. And I'm not seeing it at weeklies as often. I'm not talking about Columbus weeklies, but just weeklies in general. There's just, there's like commentary blocks and stuff now, instead of just letting people do it. And I think there needs to be a place for that. So I want my events to do that. and there has to be a compromise somehow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe harsher rules on that if it's a behavior thing. Hard to say. So with everything all together, I kind of I gave for the team and myself a B minus, and I think all the points honestly are just due to the execution and beforehand. Like, I think the event itself ran amazing. Everyone had a great time except for the few people who were stuck in the commentary stuff I was mentioning. The commentators causing the issues had a great time because they weren't aware they were causing issues until I had to talk to a few of them at the end. But yeah, everyone liked how the event was ran. They were cool, even if their game only had like 3 events, because at least they got to play their game. I'm surprised the old man games, the anime games, and some of the niche games did a lot better than the AAA titles, and I guess that just goes to show who was at the other events, essentially, or preparing for EVO. Kind of regret not having Sam's show, but that was one of those where, you know, I announced the event in January, and I have the game list, and I have the staff people figured out, and you have to make a gamble of what games are going to be good. And I don't know how many people are going to be at this thing, because I don't know if there's 5 events going on. This event could have had 60 people, or it could have had 300 people. And if it had 300 people, I don't know if I could fit a 24th game if all of them have an average of, you know, 30 entrants, and they're kind of split between several other games and stuff. Don't know. But Sam's show will be there next year, so whatever. And maybe not ARMS, or maybe will ARMS, I don't know. But yeah, and again, just if I'm going to have a theme, it needs to be simpler. It was a great lesson to learn, or if it is simpler, if it is going to be more complicated, you need to make sure you have the following and the means to actually like communicate that correctly. So, all right, iteration. So, what am I doing next time? I kind of talked about this before and some other stuff. Kind of wish I didn't as much. So, pretty much, if I'm gonna do the advertising stuff, and I want people to not, I need like a designated ad guy, whether it's one of the 5, and maybe John Dog could even do it, or I need to get someone like Spencer, or even just flat out Spencer. It's just one of those where I feel guilty if they're working on their own yearly event, and then especially if my event's going to be kind of near theirs, even if it's afterwards, it might be too late, because it's like, why don't you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, you're already seeing spam from one guy in a group. Do you really want to see that twice as much for 2 different events? I don't know. I don't like it. There's got to be a different way. Or maybe I just need to, like, make that a condition when my staff comes in of, hey, advertise this once a week. Please. That's all you got to do. Post it on the thing. Get the especially because I don't have the following on Twitter, and even if I did have the following on Twitter, I'm not going to have the same following as like Eunice Tio, or someone who does Vampire Savior events, or someone who does ARMS stuff, as the guys who are actually running those said things. So they should be the one to do it. And a retweet's just not the same thing, because some people filter those and stuff. So, and you know, I kind of said that I'm back off the theme. So just yeah, Carmine vs. Ultramarine. Maybe we'll revisit it. I don't see it happening unless I make it a full-time gig, or I pay someone to do the theming of an event. I don't know what kind of money that would go to, and if I'm paying them to do that, then I might as well be paying streamers or other things instead, I guess. So there's that. The one thing I think I might actually try to play with next time is Smash CG lets you do crowdfunding. We had some internal talks of trying to fly out personalities to this thing, and I met with enough resistance of they'd rather fly in different personalities, or because it's like, if I fly in a Street Fighter player, that doesn't really help the Smash scene or the Tekken guys, and there's no way I can fly everybody in. It's not possible unless like I jank the venue up. But as my guys are telling me, hey, if they, you know, if people are actually okay with a $10 venue, then they'd be okay with doing a crowdfund, I think. That's kind of the direction I'm leaning towards. And make it kind of like a tree thing of, you know, hit tier 1, X amount of bucks, then you pay the streamers and X amount of spots, and you pay the staff, and then after that, then you can kind of like divide on where you want money to go and stuff. Although the problem with that is it's a little unfair to those who donate early. So, I don't know. Or you just kind of do it anyway. Could always do the venue, so not as much goes to the church, although I'm just not a fan of it because they do so much for us to begin with. But if I'm going to do a 2-day event, then maybe that won't be a problem. Because it's kind of all the same to them anyway, so... And then, yeah, that goes to the next thing, is this will be the last time I do a single thing. I wanted to see how many games I could get in one day. 23 seems to be the thing. Or 22, I guess, because ARMS got canceled, but it was still an event that we had to plan and schedule anyway. And even though there was only 67 people, I think the way we had it structured and set up, if there was more people, we would have been able to handle it just fine. Maybe the bottlenecks would have been actually easier to resolve because there'd be more people to kind of like help avoid that from happening and stuff. But what I think I'll do for the double day, and maybe I'll ask people around, you can give your thoughts to me too, is there's 2 ways to do it. There's the typical way, which is where you do like Sat as the start day and then Sunday as like the top 8/final day. I think that's cool in a setting where you're by a hotel or near enough of a hotel, or you're advertising it to be a true national event. Where people from everywhere are flying in, and they will be around Sunday. Even though, to be realistic, the first original older games, people would just come for just Saturday. Like, I helped win Season Speeding, which was like a major during the 2005 through 10, 11 era. And there would not be as many people on Sunday, and mostly your games would just finish on Saturday anyway. I'm kind of leaning more towards almost making it 2 events. So we already kind of do this with the rooms and everything, but the idea is like, you'd have some games and whatever games that you think would all go together on Sat, and then you'd have a different one on Sunday. And then that way, as a competitor, you only need to go to one of the 2 days, and then if you're diehard enough, you go to both. And then we figure out housing and stuff. But the idea is, if you're big Tekken Soul Calibur guy, then maybe you just come on Sunday and that's it. Or if you're big old man games person, you come on just Saturday, and that's when we do V7, MVC2, and Super Turbo and stuff like that. And I think that because again, this whole thing, this whole Kakuto, it's supposed to be it's a fighting game festival, and when you go think of other festivals like a state fair or an Irish festival, you're going there for one day. You're going there for the one thing you want to do, unless you're like a big diehard about the event. Then you'll go to both, and some people would go to both, I think. But it'd be probably mostly locals, but you get a few here and there. They're like, yeah, you know what, I will stay and check that game out too and stuff them. Or you know what, that other thing is going on, and they're going to be there both days. Some people are concerned about staffing, but the way I already do staffing is, each game has its own TO, so it's already going to be even on the staff and stuff. I just know one of my goals is to, I think it was Kumite. It's currently at 35 across 2 days. I want to break that. And I also want to introduce a lot more non-FGC games. So I'm talking things like, I know something becoming somewhat popular here is, or popular enough, like again, I only care if 4 people enter minimum, which a lot didn't this time, but Puyo Tetris, I want to do like a Mario Maker 2 event. I don't know what that means, is the competition building the stage, or is the competition beating a stage, or is it both? I don't know. Maybe you do Saturday is the stage maker phase, and Sunday is the runner phase, and you don't have to enter both if you don't want to. Do like a theme, and then... But I also don't know how much you can actually do offline, but, it'd be fun. Yomi, I've always wanted to do, and I don't mean like the electronic version, but I mean the physical card game version. That'd be sick. And then... the one I may finally do is also Hearthstone. Don't know. All depends on what other fighting games come out and which ones stick around and which ones I hope with that. But it'd be cool to have some other non-FGC games in there too, because I think people do have a lot of fun with them and trying to get some other people. Kakuto, one of the earlier, not Kakuto, but UGFC had Pokemon. Maybe bring that in, but I don't know. Sword and Shield, I don't get to have my Shuckle around, even though no one uses them competitively. Maybe they do. I don't pay attention. I don't know. Anyways, and I think that kind of covers everything. So, Kakuto was fun. I call it a success. I have a lot of more regrets with it compared to other events, but I still call it a success because everyone had fun. I had fun. My staff had fun. People want to do it again. People who didn't go wish they were going to go and wish that they excited for the next one. More people are excited about it being a 2-day event. Shirts were fantastic. I actually liked the day we picked. Unfortunately, we might have to just change it based on the heat of stuff. And I think that kind of covers it. I believe my next event I'll be doing directly might be another speedrunning event. I'm going to try to get Zion to do a Tekken Crusade Muslim Zone. I kind of need a breather, I think, after a long time of this, and the summer being summer and owning a house and not doing outdoor stuff. When you need to do outdoor stuff, so I think that concludes it all. We'll catch you all at the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.